So the first couple questions are very similar to what we've already done. So what they do, and I know you can't hardly see this because it's small, but here are 3 points. It says examine each of the graphs and their equations. Identify the coordinates of the point where the line intersects with the y-axis. Describe the relationship between the point and the equation. So here's my y-axis. It's right there. It goes straight up and down. What number is that point on your y-axis? Yeah, like how far up on your y-axis do you have to go till you see a point? 3. So that means your y-intercept, or b, equals 3. Now, looking at your equation, the equation says y equals 1/2 x, and at the end, what number does it say? Right here. What number is this? +3. So the reason they put that +3 there is that's where you're going to make a point on your y-axis. So the second equation, okay, odd desk can take a mask break. The second equation, what does it say? Plus what at the end? On B, what number does it say? Plus? We're on B. 7. That means we are going to go up on our y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there should be a point there. And there was. So we know that the y-intercept, or wherever that our line crosses the y-axis, is going to be this last point in our equation. This first one said +3. The second one says +7. That's our y-intercept. We're going to keep looking at this. So what's the number? We're on C now. Everybody look at C. It says -2. Okay, well, that's okay. C right here says it's at -2. So I would go on my y-axis down, and I would have a point at -2. This one right here says my last point is -4. So I would go on my y-axis, which is right here, down 4, and there would be a point. This is not on your paper, you guys. Just look. Okay. Now you should see example 1. Everybody has example 1. Okay. So what we're doing today is we're kind of going backwards. So what you've done in the past is they've given you the line, you have to write the equation. Today, they're going to give you the equation and you have to draw the line. So the first thing you're going to want to do, and I'm going to write this equation down because I know it's hard for you to see. You do not have to do this in class. Here's my equation that they give me up at the top. The first thing I want to do is look at this point right here. What does it say? What number is that? It's a +1. So we're going to go to our y-axis until we see +1, and we're going to make a point there. So everybody in class needs to have a point on +1. Okay, so we don't have a line yet. Right now, all we have is a point, and we're trying to get a line. So the second thing we're going to look at is this number that's right in front of x. That's your slope. Remember, slope is rise over run. The top number tells you if you're going up or down. If it's positive, you're going up. If it's negative, you're going down. The bottom number tells you if you're going to the left or the right. If it's positive, you're going to the right. If it's negative, you're going to the left. So now I have directions. I'm going to go put my pencil back on the point I already made. It's at 1. And I'm going to do exactly what my slope tells me to do. It tells me to go up 1, 2, and it tells me to go right 1, 2, 3. And that's where I make my second point. You have to do both things until you can make your point. You have to go up 2 and right 3. Then you can make your point. So you guys have, if you have like a binder or a planner or another piece of paper, something that's going to make a straight line, what you're going to do is connect those 2 points with a straight line that goes all the way through your graph. If you use my ruler, do not add to the inappropriate things that are on there. If you see something that needs to be marked out, I will mark it out. If we can't If we start writing on the rulers, you'll get them taken away. Even mask break, please. Okay, we don't need to talk about what the rulers say. The only reason you have one is to draw a straight line. Does everybody have that graph? Does your line look like my line? So I'm going to remind you what happened. We made a point at +1 on our y-axis, and from there we looked at our slope, which was 2/3. So I went up 2, right 1, 2, 3, made my second point, and then made my line through it. So that was example 1. Example 2 is very similar to that. They're just going to change your numbers. So you just have a different line that you're graphing. So here's my equation. I'm going to write it down so we can see it. Sorry, my... Uh-oh. Why does that keep doing that? So the equation is y equals -3/4x minus 2. So the first thing we're going to do is look at this last point right here. Since there's a negative sign in front of it, that means we're going to go on our y-axis right here to -2, and we're going to make our first point right there. So everybody needs to go on their y-axis. It is actually labeled y, so you can see there's a little y there. That's how you know which one's the y-axis. You're going to go to -2. You're going to make a point. From there, I have a slope. The number that's right in front of x is -3/4. The top number is negative, so that means I'm going down 3. The bottom number is positive, so I'm going to the right 4. So I'm going to put my pencil on the point that I already made, and I'm going to follow the instructions of my slope. I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, and write 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got my 2 points, and you only need 2 points to make a line. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect those 2 points with a nice, neat, straight line that goes all the way through my graph. And that's what it should look like. All right, moving on. We have another equation. So the equation is y equals 4x minus 7. This minus 7 right here is the first thing we want to do. That's called your y-intercept. Okay? Y-intercept is just a fancy way of saying go to your y-axis, which is right here, the one that goes up and down, find -7, and make a point. Go to your y-axis, find -7, and make a point. Thanks, Leo. Okay, now what number is right in front of my x? This is example 3. Okay, well, you just follow along. What number is right in front of my x? Everybody masks on, please. So this is not on your paper, but you can look up here because I have a number up here that's right in front of x. What would it be? 4. How do I make 4 a fraction? Because 4 is not already a fraction. Over 1. Since the top number is positive, I would go up 4. Since the bottom number is positive, I would go to the right 1. So from this point, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, right 1. You could do it again if you wanted. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, right 1. And then I'm going to not use the line I had. But see, that's not a beautiful line. You should make your line nice and neat and use a ruler. Or you could use another piece of paper or your planner or something. Do you have exercises 1 and 2 or no? Yeah, that's what these are. Okay, so you can't see this on your paper, so you need to write this down. Graph an equation y equals 5/2x. So this is not on your paper. You need to write this down so you know what equation we're trying to graph. Y equals 5/2x minus 4. So this is, there's a graph that says B. This is where we're on. We're on graph B right now. So this last number right here, I'm going to make on my y-axis, I have a -4. So I'm going to go on my y-axis, which is right here, to -4, -1, -2, -3, -4. And I'm going to make a point. The number that's in front of x is already a fraction. We have the fraction 5/2, which means I'm going to go up 5 and I'm going to go right 2 from the point that I already made on my graph. So I'm going to put my pencil over that point I already made, and I need to do both things. Go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and right 1, 2. After I do both things, then I can make my next point. Then you connect your 2 points with a nice line that goes through both of them, and you're done graphing. So the last one that we have on our paper is number 2a and b. So if you look right here, our equation is y equals -3x plus 6. You're going to go to that last number. It says +6. So on my y-axis, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to make a point. So if it said negative in front of it or a minus sign in front of it, that means it would be a -6. If it's a positive sign, it's going to be a +6. And then what number is right in front of x? -3. So you got to be careful. That's a negative. How do I make -3 a fraction? Because it's not. Put it over 1. So the top number is negative. That means I'm actually going down, not up. But the bottom number is positive, so I'm going to the right. I already have this point up here on 6. So what I'm going to do is go down 1, 2, 3, and right 1. You can make as many points as you want, but you technically only have to have 2 to make a line. So I could keep going down 1, 2, 3, right 1, and make another point. I'm going to connect my points with a line, and I'm done graphing that equation. So the generic form of this equation is y equals mx plus b. This plus b is your y-intercept, or where you're going to make your first point on your y-axis. This m stands for your slope. We know m is slope. We know b is y-intercept.